Welcome to episode number 10 of the Sustainable Living for the Family, Health, and Home podcast. On today's podcast, we are talking about homeschooling. Homeschooling is something that more and more people are doing. In the last few years, we have seen a very large rise in the number of families really taking a dive in going ahead and homeschooling their children. As a homeschooling mother myself, for about the past 2 years now, I have learned some things that have really enabled me to grow, and I think they would be of such help to those homeschool mothers out there, and for those that may be even thinking about homeschooling as an option in their home. Now, I am no expert, that's for sure. But whatever tools that I can bring about and give to you, I will definitely do that. So today we are talking about 3 of the simple keys that I have learned from my students that are not taught in books that will help to bring a rhythm, smoother sailing, a peace, and really some good learning to your homeschool and your students. Let's get into it right now. Hey, this is Dr. Monique Adu, a pediatrician turned homeschool mom and keeper of my home. Welcome to my podcast, Sustainable Living for the Family, Health, and Home. In this podcast, we are going to be talking about all things sustainability and always striving to live our best in terms of the life-giving practices that we can do to build longevity and to fulfill our purpose in life. We are going to be talking about things concerning our family, home, gardening, homeschooling, health, nutrition, and so much more. I'm so glad you're here. Number 1, study your students. It is so important that we are to be a student of our students. Our learning should be continuously growing. We should always be in an attitude and posture of wanting to grow and learn as a mom and as the primary teacher in the home. By studying your students, you will be able to really hone in on their individual strengths, their individual needs, and really you will start to see a thread growing and really flourishing for each and every student that you have, a thread that can give you a clue as to what their real drive and purpose is here. What skills do they have? What strengths do they have that you can see really flourishing and growing in the things that they like doing, in the characteristics that they're building, in the subjects, in the ideas, in all the things that they find interest in? Where are they really shining? Study them so that you can see just exactly where they do best and where you can nurture those skills, and also where they may be weaker so that you can strengthen them and really help them to be better in the areas that they may not be as strong in. Nurture those skills. I wanted to give you some examples of exactly what I mean and how powerful it was for me this homeschool year for my children. I have a son. He's still very young, but I can see that he really has a gift with his hands, making things, even growing things. We have a garden in our backyard here, and we're growing vegetables, fruits, flowers, and all these different things. It has really been a blessing for each of my children, but my son in particular really has a hand at gardening. I can show you his specific spot that we have actually given to him to manage. He has some vegetables and some flowers, a variety of things under an apple tree that we have in our backyard, just a young apple tree that we are nurturing and growing. And under this apple tree, you can see squash, zucchini, peas, flowers, herbs, all in a large, beautiful community. You can compare that to some of our other areas where he hasn't touched, and there is just a remarkable difference. I'm telling you, we can see that he really, really has developed some skills in his gardening ability. He can tell you what all the plants are actually in the whole garden, and he can even bring me, if necessary, some medicinal plants and herbs. And he often does. He even brings me some just to give as my own little boost. He understands what they are used for, and he can even go ahead and stretch out his hand and use them for healing and to bless other people. Now, this is a skill that if I had not really observed, if my husband and I had not really observed, it may have just gone to the wayside. But we have been nurturing it. We give him his own seeds to plant. We allow him to have that freedom to really go ahead and grow in this area. And it has really been remarkable to see what he has done and what he can do. My second daughter really loves detail. She can just take something, make it into an intricate and beautiful craft. And for example, she has made her daddy this beautiful crocheted flower. All this detail here, it is intricate and it is just beautiful. She taught herself how to do this. She used a few books, she looked at a few videos, and then she just really went off with it. And this is just one of the many things that she has made. She can knit, she can crochet. So what I'm looking at in her is the ability to hone in on detail and the intricacies of a subject. She really delves deep into something and wants to understand for mastery, and that is an excellent skill to have. I have another daughter that really is into puppies and all things animals. And because of that, she learned how to embroider on her own. And she made a beautiful puppy embroidery. It has all these variations in colors. And I tell you, I couldn't even do this one, nor could I do the crochet flower with the intricacies and details that my other daughter did. But this, my third daughter learned on her own how to do, and it was sparked from her love of her animals and puppies and all these things. They also have some animals that they take care of that they really delve deep into, learning all about them, and they really do a great job in taking care of them. These are just a few examples of how we can see these threads growing and growing and becoming stronger and becoming at mastery levels at even young ages like this, all from number one, studying your students and learning where their strengths are. Number two, using family subjects to your benefit and allowing this to be a gift that we can use to really involve all the children, no matter what age level. Now, our family subjects are Bible, history, and science. These are the three things that I specifically teach all three at the same time. No matter what level they are in terms of their age or grade, we are all getting the same family subjects at the same time. And what we then do is we tailor it according to ability. For the youngest, we may be drawing a picture. For the older ones, we may be doing some journaling, jotting down some notes, also drawing a picture, but adding some summary concepts and detail to it, or even a book report, or a collage of sorts to just express themselves with the knowledge, with the information they have been given. Now, in doing that, you are nurturing their ability to communicate thoughts, to move out from their own minds and be able to express what they have learned. This is so very important because communication is so key in being able to express ourselves appropriately and with wisdom, and to be able to teach other people and lead other people as they grow. So use the family subjects as that gift, that vessel that you can use to help them to communicate, while the other main subjects, the language arts and the math, serve as the foundation so that they can then move into other things. You must know language so that you can read and write. It also helps, of course, with your communication. And of course, you need to have some standard arithmetic sets of skills so that you know how to budget your finances, you know how to manage a business if that's what you would want to do, and you know how not to be taken advantage of in terms of what is in your pockets because you have some basic math skills. So use those family subjects as your jumping board to help you to hone in on the ability to communicate and express yourselves. And number 3, just don't stress out on specific curriculum. It is so easy for moms, especially new homeschooling moms, I have gone through this myself, to stress out on the specific books and the specific things and all the materials and the supplies. And before you know it, you're racking up a big bill. And then before you know it, you don't like it anymore. It's not working for you. Your student doesn't like it. We're feeling overwhelmed. Just get the basics. If you can get some language arts and math, even just to start, and then use your library to move into all the other subjects, you will be straight, I'm telling you, because all the other things fall into place after that. Get some history. Don't forget to do your Bible. It's so important to set the foundations of understanding the Father, knowing the skills of life, and continuously learning and seeking from Him, because we can never know enough from the Bible, never know enough about our Father in heaven. So use these foundations and then move from there. Never let the curriculum stress you out. I have even learned it myself in my just few years of homeschooling, moving through different curriculum, only to go back to some of the simple basics, and even have my son tell me, Mom, I really learned how to read from those books that you were using. Those were actually the McGuffey readers that I had used with my son to teach him how to read. I thought that maybe we weren't really progressing, but come to find out, it really helped him to build a foundation of phonetics and really kind of looking at the letters and piecing them together to see how they flowed. I'll talk to you in another podcast about how I taught my child how to read and how to really start to progress. I hope these tips have been helpful for you. Number 1, study your students, understand their strengths and weaknesses, and nurture them where you see them growing. Provide family subjects Number 2, and let it serve you as a wonderful tool and stepping board for communication. And number 3, don't stress on the curricula. You don't have to be a servant to the curricula. You don't have to finish it all even. You could move it over into the next term, which is actually what we're going to be doing. We're just sailing on forward. We have already learned so much, and we don't need the book to dictate to us, to let us know when it's enough or when it's too much. We use it as a tool, and we don't serve the books. And we even go outside it to really delve deep and really get that understanding. So as a homeschool mom, I learned so much from my students this year. And I hope that you will take some of these tools on with you and really do consider homeschooling your children too, if you haven't. If you like this information and if you think it would be helpful for others, please do go ahead and leave some comments or a review down below and share it with others so that they may know it's out there. I hope to provide you with lots of value and a wealth of information, and I will be publishing podcasts every Sunday, so please look forward to it. Add it to your weekly routines, and I hope it will be a blessing for you. As always, do all you can to be more and more sustainable and be blessed. Thank you so much for listening and joining me in on this podcast. Please leave a review below so that others can hear about a podcast that you have found value in and enjoy. You can follow me on my website at www.drmoniqueadu.com, as well as my YouTube channel, Sustainable Living for Family, Health, and Home.